Thank you for listening to PoliticalStorm.com. I'm John Small. We've got a special guest joining us today. We've got Dana White. She's a policy advisor and the author of a book called Leader Designed. First of all, let's say hello to Dana. How are you, Dana?
I'm good. Thanks, John. How are you?
Very good. I'm excited to chat with you. I was kind of looking through the info that was sent over. It says, Trump is our pig. We have to dress him up. That is kind of funny. So what does it mean, Trump is our pig? I know I've heard, that we got to put lipstick on this pig. I'm assuming that's what you mean.
Yes, absolutely. Trump is, not the perfect candidate in any way, shape, or form. But this Never Trump movement and people who keep railing against him, Donald Trump's just not the kind of guy that if he wins, you really want to be on the wrong side of. So it's really, as Republicans, we really have to embrace him and figure out how best to dress him up for the general election.
So there are people out there that are saying, never Trump or dump Trump. But, on the same token, there's the Stop Hillary campaign. So this has been kind of an interesting election all around. We've got it almost seems like you've got which candidate people dislike the least is what's going to happen. But why is it, dumping Trump? Why is it unlikely to improve the Republicans' electoral prospects?
Well, the thing is the Republican establishment, I'm here in Washington, and I talk to a lot of friends, and a lot of them aren't supporting Trump. But the Republican Party cannot disenfranchise the millions of voters who have gotten involved in this process because of Donald Trump. And they miss something. They miss this populist that Bernie Sanders has capitalized on, that Trump has capitalized on. They miss the boat, this Congress. And so, again, I just think at some point you have to decide either you want to vote for Hillary, or you're going to have Hillary as president, or you're going to have to work with Donald Trump. That's the reality. Conservative is not on the ballot. Republican is. Yeah. So, again, we got to get our head around going ahead and working with Donald Trump.
So, there's
a lot of work to do.
I had a friend that gave me I think this was a pretty good analogy. He was talking about, when you may have that certain person you wanted to go to the prom with, but they didn't ask you, it's down to this one is the one that asked you. So you're either going to the prom or you're not. And I thought that was kind of funny because, when you look at it, that's kind of the thing. We've got Hillary and we've got Donald Trump, and, those are choices. So you can write somebody else in, I suppose. But unless somebody else comes out and, launches a very late campaign, those are the two choices we have. And it has really kind of turned into, I think a lot of people are saying, I would rather have this person instead of that person, even though they may not be your perfect candidate. Now it's down to, okay, which one can I live with?
Which one can I live with? That is what it comes down to. Which one will I be least disgusted with? That's it.
Again, visiting right now with a policy advisor, Dana White, and she's got a book. Now, the book, Leader Designed. How long has the book been out, Dana?
So the book just launched in June last month, and it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, as well as on my website, danawwhite.com.
And the book, is this your first book you've done, or have you done other books as well?
This is my very first book. The inspiration for the book was actually, I was living in Paris, and my father passed away suddenly here in Virginia, and it got me thinking about all the leaders in my life and how they brought me to this point. And it really got me thinking about how so many leaders, people think about leaders in terms of generals and presidents and corporate titans. And the thing is that we're all leaders in our own right because we all have the ability to show someone else what they can do and who they can be. So that was the inspiration for the book.
That is awesome. Now, speaking of leaders, both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are known for, maybe not necessarily being like everyone else. Why is it that, when they become, one of them will most likely be in the Oval Office? You're saying that with their strong leadership, they're probably not going to be the exact same fit as other presidents for the Oval Office. Why do you feel that way?
Well, because both of these people have such negatives, right? And Donald Trump has had no experience whatsoever in public life, and he has no relationships in government. So he is definitely not a perfect fit. And Hillary Clinton, as the first woman and also a former first lady, and being the first woman, that's also new. So for both of them, I think they'll both have challenges in leading, because either way, I think the country will be quite divided in terms of whoever becomes president.
It's going to be a historic election no matter what happens, and it's been amazing to me how early this campaign started. For whatever reason, seems like every election cycle we start a little bit earlier, don't we?
We absolutely do. This has probably been the earliest anyone has ever started, and it's interesting because it seems as though we are being bombarded, and Americans are actually waiting longer to pay attention. People talk about the polls in June, but most people don't tune in truly to the election until maybe a month before. It's October.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and the money that's being spent, the billions of dollars that are raised just to influence us when it's all going to matter in October.
Yeah, because they always talk about the October surprise, and that's where this year I was saying I wonder if it'll be an October surprise, or maybe it'll be an August surprise or a September surprise. Everything has been, it's been going on so long. It feels like this campaign has been happening for years.
Absolutely. And you don't know what's going to happen with Hillary's possible indictment. I mean, there's so many factors, and the investigations on the Clinton Foundation, like you just don't know what kind of candidate she looks like after the convention. And technically, Bernie Sanders hasn't suspended his campaign, and neither has he endorsed her wholeheartedly. So it's going to be a very interesting summer.
Well, and I have a few friends on Facebook that are adamant Bernie supporters, and they point out the fact that Franklin Delano Roosevelt was chosen, not because he had enough delegates going in, but he was chosen, once they got to the convention. So it was a brokered convention back in 1932, and he was elected 4 times. So apparently he did something right.
Absolutely, he absolutely did. And the thing about Bernie Sanders in relation to leadership is what Bernie Sanders and Trump both have is a vision. And you might not agree with their vision, but they both own what they believe in a way that Hillary Clinton didn't, and frankly, neither did the other 17 Republican candidates. So, I think that's why you're going to have so real large voter turnout, because both Trump has this huge vision, Hillary doesn't.
One of the things that's been amazing to me is the number of people who I've talked to who said this is the first election they're going to vote in a long time. I talked to a man just recently, it was over the 4th of July holiday. He said, I haven't voted in 20 years, and I'm voting in this election. And I said, so who is it you're supporting? And he said, I just don't want Hillary to be elected. So I said, so you're a Trump supporter? He said, no, I just don't want Hillary to be elected. And I know there are people that feel the exact same way, against Trump as well. So again, it's interesting that there, people coming out in droves to vote against somebody this time.
It's amazing. I think people have in the past felt like, the devil I know, the devil I don't. But I think a bipartisan sentiment in America, unifying all of us, is none of us like our candidate. Yeah. No one likes their candidate.
It's kind of like we all want a do-over. Can we give a do-over on this? Again,
can you do a hashtag do-over? Everyone did hashtag do-over on the ballot?
There you go. That would be kind of fun. Again, visiting right now with Dana White, author of a book called Leader Designed. Now, speaking of leadership, there are telltale signs of bad leaders and necessary qualities for strong leaders. What are some of the things that you should look for a strong leader, and what are some of the signs that you should know that this is probably going to be a bad leader?
Well, the first great sign of a great leader is they do have a vision that's inclusive and big. One thing I noted in my book about Hillary during the 2008 election was that she had a very narrow vision. It was like she wants to be president of the United States, and it was her dream, but it wasn't our dream. Whereas Barack Obama had this great vision of this post-racial America, where white America could finally be rid of the sins of their fathers and grandfathers, and that was an attractive vision. So having a vision is the number one sign of a good leader. A sign of a bad leader is when the vision is all about them, me, I, what I want, who I can be, what I can do. That's a bad sign. A narcissistic leader. Another great sign of a leader is someone who empowers other people. Great leaders are ultimately servants. They help empower people. They let other people shine. they use their position to make things happen for others. I have a chapter called Generals Eat Last about the time I spent in the Pentagon. And what I learned about generals is that they always use their stars to help the people who follow them. And they put their team ahead of everything. And that's the sacrifice of leaders.
Very cool. Again, our guest today has been Dana White, author of Leader Designed. Dana, where can we find a copy of this book? Let's talk about that one more time.
You can find it on Amazon.com. You can find it at Barnes & Noble. And you can find it on my website, danawwhite.com.
Dana, it's been a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you so much for visiting with us.
Thank you, John.
And I got to ask before we let you go, do you have any predictions on the election? Because I'm trying to find somebody that knows what's going to happen.
So I think that one of two things happens. Donald Trump implodes or Donald Trump wins. But it's his to win.
Yeah.
Or his to lose.
There you go. Well, you heard it here first. Thank you again for listening to PoliticalStorm.com. If you're not already a member on the website PoliticalStorm.com, be sure to sign up today. It's absolutely free, and you could win a free PoliticalStorm.com t-shirt. Sign up today at PoliticalStorm.com. For PoliticalStorm.com, I'm John Small.